Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this one on page 43. We have Doritos that cost $4.39 for how many ounces? 11 and a half ounces versus Cheetos. Cheetos are $2.24 and you get 9 and 75 hundredths of an ounce. So let's take a look comparing these two items and see which one has a better unit cost or unit rate or even unit price per ounce. So we're going to take $4.39 divided by 11 and 5/10 ounces for the Doritos. How much is that for 1 ounce of Doritos? And I'll make that variable X here. Now, Cheetos cost $2.24, and you get 9 and 75 hundredths of an ounce for those. How much is it for 1 ounce? Now, we're not talking about per chip here, right? We're talking about ounces. So even if the Dorito or the Cheetos bags were all crushed up and the chips were destroyed, the weight of the chips would still be the same. So really, that doesn't matter. How much do they charge per ounce? So the first one here for Doritos, I can do this the same way we've been doing the others. I can say I can turn this 11 and 5/10 into a 1 by dividing by 11 and 5/10. That will turn into 1. But whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I'm also going to be dividing 4 and 39 hundredths by 11 and 5/10. So I'm going to do this over here. And this time we're dividing with two decimals, aren't we? Two sets of decimals, a decimal in the divisor and a decimal in the dividend. So the dividend, $4.39. Let me fix that. $4.39 divided by 11 and 5/10. Now, who can tell me how we go and solve a division problem where we have a decimal in both the dividend and the divisor? Do you guys remember how to do that? Ashley is raising her hand. Ashley, go ahead. That is correct. Yes, we have to move the decimal in the divisor first. So I'm going to move this one decimal space over, and that's where it's going to stay. And but whatever I do into the divisor, I have to do to the dividend too. So how many decimal spaces am I going to move the decimal and the dividend over? One space as well. So I'm going to rewrite this problem so that it's less confusing for me and for everyone else. And I'm going to rewrite this as I was kind of running out of space here. Let's see. I need a lot of space for this. So I'm going to do this over here. 4 and 9/10 divided by 115. No decimal there. We remove the decimal from the divisor and we move the decimal and the dividend over. Okay, so now I can divide. How many times does 115 go into 4? Goes in 0 times. How about 43? 0 times. Oh, here's my decimal. I'm going to raise that up and put that in my quotient. How many times does 115 go into 439, though? That's the question. 439. Well, there's a few things I could do here. I could just multiply on the side and see what I get. I could do 115 times what? What do you think, guys? Should we try 3? 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. So 345. If I add another 115 to that, I'm going to go over. So I'm going to put 115 times 3 is 345. And I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. I can't do 3 minus 4, so I'm going to borrow from this 4, and I'm going to add to the next place value over. 13 minus 4 is 9, and 3 minus 3 is 0. All right, so I'm going to add another 0 here and drop that down. How many times does 115 go into 940? I don't know off the top of my head. Does any of you know? Let's try 7. 115 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 1 is 8. I don't think that's enough. Let's try 115 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 12. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I can't go any more than that. Otherwise, I'm going to go over. So I'm going to multiply 115 times 8, and I'm going to get 920. Subtract these. 0 minus 0 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 9 minus 9 is 0. And then I got to drop another 0 down. How many times does 115 go into 200? Well, only one time. 1 times 115 is 115. Subtract this. And I can't subtract 0 minus 5. I can't borrow from this 0, so I'm going to borrow from this 2. Make that a 1. Turn that into a 10, and then make it a 9 because I'm borrowing from it. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 1 is 8. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. Now, I could keep going with this, but we're talking about money here. This is 0 and 391 thousandths of a dollar. So when I look at this, because remember, this is dollars we're dividing to. When I look at this and I have a 1 at the end of it, do I round this 8 up to make 39, or do I keep it the same? I'm going to keep it the same. So the cost of Doritos is $0.38 per ounce. And although this isn't any more difficult than the problems we did before and the way we set it up, it is more difficult because we're now dividing with decimals in the dividend and the divisor, and that makes things more complicated, especially when we have to stop at the thousandths and round up to get to the nearest hundredths place when we're talking about money. But we got to that point, and I'm going to move to the next one. Even if people are still copying this down, feel free to copy it down when we're done. But I'm going to move to the next one now so we can find the unit cost of Doritos. Now, we can set this up the same way. We can say 9 75 hundredths of an ounce can be divided by 9 75 hundredths to get 1. But I have to do the same to the top part of our ratio as well. So 2 24 hundredths divided by 9 75 hundredths. So I'm going to do that on the side. Again, I need some space for this because we're talking about decimals here. And I'm going to have to make some adjustments. So I've got I'm going to be putting 2 24 hundredths inside the house. And then on the outside of the house, I'm going to put 9 75 hundredths. Now, we mentioned this earlier. When we're dividing decimals, we have to take that decimal that's in the divisor and move it until it's gone. In this case, it's going to take 2 decimal spaces to move before it's out of the way. But whatever I do to the divisor, I have to do to the dividend too. So I'm going to move that 2 decimal spaces away as well. So I'm going to rewrite the problem like this. 224 divided by 975. Okay. Now, 975 goes into 2 0 times. It goes into 22 0 times. It goes into 224 0 times. So let's add a decimal and another 0. Put that decimal in my quotient. How many times does 975 go into 2,240? Well, I think probably 2 because 975 is almost 1,000, right? So let's do 975 times 2, and let's see what we get. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, and I can't add any more to that, otherwise I'm going to go over. So I'm going to put 2 there, and I'm going to put 1,940 in this house and subtract. 0 minus 0, 0. 4 minus 4, 0. 2 minus 9, I can't do that. So I'm going to borrow from the 2, make that a 1, make this a 12. 12 minus 9 is 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so now I got to drop another 0 down. How many times does 975 go into 3,000? Well, I'm going to guess 3 times. So I'm going to get 975 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 9 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So let's see. Actually, let's do 975 times. Did I do that right? Let's double check that. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 9 times 3 is 18, plus 2. I'm sorry, 9 times 3 is 27, plus 2 is 29. That is more likely. Not more like it. Okay. I knew I did something wrong there. So 973 times 3 is 2,925. Now, if you guys see any mistakes in here, please let me know. Okay. And I'm going to subtract here. I can't do this, so I'm going to, let's see, borrow from the 3. That's going to become a 2. It's going to be a 10. Make that a 9. 10, 9, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 9 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, so I'm going to drop down another 0. And 975 goes into 750 how many times, guys? 0 times, right? And from there we can stop. I think I made a mistake somewhere along the line, though. This doesn't seem perfectly right, but we're pretty close. Let me get out my calculator, because you know what? Sometimes if you get stuck and you're not sure where to go and you want to double check your answer, you can always take out a calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in 2,000, or rather 224 divided by 975, and I get, yeah, I made a mistake somewhere along the line. So this is what my calculator gave me. 2 and 29 hundredths, or 229 hundredths. So this works. Somewhere along the way, this got messed up. And that happens. But in the interest of saving time, I checked it with my calculator and something got messed up. But that's okay. We double checked our answer. What I want to take a look at is this, though. This 9, am I going to be adding to that 2, rounding up, or am I going to be keeping that 2 the same? I will be rounding up. That is correct. So the unit cost for the Cheetos is $0.23. Okay, now this is a lot going on, but what is the best deal? Is it the Cheetos or is it the Doritos? Where do we have the best deal here? Cheetos. Option 2 is the best deal. It's 23 cents per ounce compared to the 8 cents per ounce. So I'm going to put $0.23 per ounce. And then I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see everything in its entirety. I know this is a lot of work to show on one problem, and that's why we're doing this together. And you can see I messed up on the division as well. And, I could go back and fix that. But at the same time, this gives me, using the calculator gives me the ability to check my answer. And if you're doing your work in the book and you use the calculator to check your answer, but you're showing me that you're trying to get to the answer using long division and trying to show me your work, that's good with me. That counts. So great job, everybody. And I'm going to stop the video.